Hello, my dear student. This is Miss Elizabeth, your science going to explain on science chapter number 5. Topic of this lesson is reproduction of plants. You must have seen new plants growing from seeds. Do you think all plants grow from seeds? Okay, let's discuss. Plants reproduce in different ways. Most plants produce seeds from which new plants come out, but some plants do not produce seeds. They reproduce in other ways. Let's say ferns, fungi like mushroom, they reproduce from their tiny spores. They don't have flowers, and some plants reproduce from body parts of the parent plant. A new potato plants can develop from the potato, which is an underground stem. Why we say potato is a stem? Because it have knots and interknots. Here, its buds represent a knot, and the space between its knots are called the interknots. Alright. If you examine the potato, you will notice that there are small buds on it. Each of these buds can develop into a new plant. The foods for the baby plant is stored in the potato. Not only the potato, other plants like rose, money plants, sugar canes, or hibiscus, China rose, they also reproduce. And from these stem parts, and another amazing plants that reproduce from its leaf, that is bryophyllum plants. You can see these plants in our school campus. I will show you later. Okay, then our next topic is seed germination. The young plants called a seedling soon grow into an adult plant when the seeds get the right conditions to grow. In times, the adult plants will start producing flowers. Flowers will make seeds, and cycle will repeat. And next is dispersals of seeds. A large number of plants will then start growing at one place. They will not get enough space, water, minerals, and sunlight, and will not be able to grow well. Many of them would die. Nature has therefore arranged some methods by which the seeds of a plant are scattered over large distances. This is called dispersals of seeds. Okay, and there are some agents like wind, waters, animals. With the help of them, the seeds are dispersed over large distance. Some examples are seeds of cottons, common milkweed, and the dandelions have tiny ears. This enables the seeds to be carried by the wind. And let's say lotus fruits has a spongy part, and the coconut also has a thick coat of fibers which enable them to float. So they are carried to far off place by waters. And then the next example is human beings, animals. They eat fruits like mango, amla, wild apples, and throw away the seeds, and then they germinate where they fall. Alright, moving on. Our next topic is crops. So let me tell you what is crop. A cultivated plant that is grown on a large scale commercially, especially as cereals, fruits, or vegetables. That is called crops. And there are three types of crops. They are food crops, example wheat, paddy, and vegetable. And the second one is the fiber crop, example cottons and jute. And the last and third one is oil producing crops, example mustard, sunflowers, and peanuts. And in India, cropping season is classified into two main seasons, Kharif and Rabi. In the winter seasons, crops like wheat and grams are grown. They are called Rabi crops. In the summer season, Kharif crops such as rice, maize, jowar, and the bajra are grown. Next, and our last topic is getting good yields from crops. That to get good yields from crops, farmer must need to do these steps. So keep in mind there are 6 steps. You can see in your textbook page number 47 that the first one is they use healthy seeds of the best variety. Scientists have developed several varieties of high yielding seeds for each crop. And the second is prepare the soil well and add the right kinds of manures or fertilizers to it. And the third, irrigate the soils at the right times and with the right amount of water needed by the soil. And the fourth things is protect the crops from disease and harmful insects. Insecticides and pesticides have to be sprayed in the right quantities. And the fifth one, protect the crops against animals such as cows and buffaloes. And the last thing is that the harvested crop has to be stored properly to protect it from moisture. Moisture will cause fungi and bacteria to start growing. The crops also have to be protected from rats, insects, and other animals. And I will give you written question answer for this chapter number 5. You must copy properly in your classwork notebook and try to analyze it. Okay? Thank you so much for following.